Okay, good. So the recording has started. So introduction to give me another second. This uh-oh. Okay, good. So introduction to digital marketing and content writing fundamentals. So like I said, this is part of the Techrity mentorship program. And I am mentoring under the digital marketing and content writing track, and this is week 2. So, as a recap, last week we talked about, it was still like an introductory class where we went into like what is digital marketing, and while defining digital marketing, we talked about its importance in today's world. We looked at an overview of digital marketing channels, various channels that you can use for digital marketing, like SEO, meaning search engine optimization. We looked at social media, we looked at email marketing, we looked at content marketing, and we looked at the PPC, which is pay per click. That's the paid ads and all of those. We also looked at the differences between traditional marketing and digital marketing, right? Another thing we also looked at was an introduction to content writing, where we explored the role of content writing in digital marketing, because of course you cannot market digitally without your content. We also look at various types of content, like the blog posts, social media posts, emails, newsletters, product descriptions. As a product manager, I think Dom, was it Dom or Coach that said you're into product, right? You need to write descriptions for your product, right? That's Dom, if I'm not mistaken. Then we also looked at the importance of storytelling and audience management, right? Why should you tell your story? Why is it that people would want to will be more focused on how you tell a story online than just like a very boring, dry post or caption or blog or things like that. We also looked at the skills needed to succeed in content writing. Now, if you're looking at branching out into content writing, if you're looking at becoming, everybody can write, but not everybody can be an effective or an efficient content writer, right? And for you to be an efficient content writer, for you to say that, okay, I am skilled as a content writer, you need to be able to research effectively. Do like in-depth research. You need to be able to research and find out, various details that would, inform your content. You need to have good creativity and adaptability skills. You also need to know the SEO basics for content, right? SEO is one broad concept. There are various forms of SEO, from from just like bare SEOs, like the technical bits, and it can be broad, but even if it's just the basics like keyword research, looking for trending topics and things like that, you should know at least the basics, because it will go a long way in helping your content or your content writing or marketing career. Another skill that you should not play with as a content writer is to have great proofreading and editing skills. Because if you write well, you should be able to edit well. You shouldn't write the content that people are reading it and they're having headache, right? They are having headache because the sentences are not coherent, your words, there are so many typographical errors, the sentence construction is something else, there is no flow between your paragraphs, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the things that we looked at. Excuse me. These are some of the things that we looked at last week, and you can, of course, go, watch it in detail. I recommend that you do so. So moving on, okay, we've talked about this. Now, introduction to social media and content writing. That's what we're going to be looking at today. Right, we're going to be, last week we touched on this, like what is social media, what is content writing, and today we'll be going a bit further to look at what does social media content writing, what does it mean to write content for social media, right? So now, what is social media content writing? Okay, so hold on. So in this topic, some of the things I would cover before, hopefully before the end of today, like the objective of this session is to understand, fundamentals of social media content writing, to know how to basically tailor your content for different platforms, because I mean there are various social media content platforms today. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, various social media, even YouTube. So you need to be able to know how to tailor your content for different social media platforms so that they can suit the audience there. You also need to learn. We're also going to look at how to craft engaging, high converting posts. We're going to explore storytelling techniques and CTA strategies, that's call to action strategies. We're also going to look at how to develop a content calendar or a content plan for a brand. So these are some of the things that we'll cover into this session. Hopefully we have enough time to do that. Now, what is social media content writing? Social media content writing involves creating like the short form, engaging, and platform specific. Take note of those words: short form, engaging, and platform specific, right? Because when you're writing content for social media, you're not writing a blog, you're not writing what's it called, a copy for a website. You're writing a social media content, and these are the key things that you should keep in mind. Usually it's short form, although you can also have long form content as well. Like I said, social media content is specific for to the platform, right? So you see some people writing like long form content on a place like LinkedIn. Even sometimes maybe in YouTube descriptions, people would have like detailed maybe description about what their YouTube video is about. So based on the platform, you can channel your content to fit into that platform, into that bucket. So you create short form engaging. Another keyword there, engaging. If your content is not engaging, there's so much on social media today. I don't know if it's just me, but I find myself sometimes when I open Instagram, I keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I do not even know when time flies, right? So that's just to say how like there's so much to consume online, right? And if your content is not engaging enough, like people would not stop to actually maybe see what it's about or read it, or they just keep scrolling, they just scroll past it, right? So your content has to be engaging, whether it's the graphics, whether it's the content itself, the caption, or even both. So something about your content, social media content, has to be engaging enough to maybe prompt the audience, the person who stumbles upon it, to take an action or to like basically do something. Another thing again, like I said, is platform specific. For example, content that goes on Instagram are usually videos. I mean, reels are trending these days. There's also the pictures, right? There are pictures, so mostly videos and pictures. For somewhere like LinkedIn, you can even do like an entire post without adding an image, right? Because that's the kind of content that the platform is specific to. On Twitter, right, or X, it's short form content as well, where you write a few characters, or sorry, a few words, and you can form threads and all that. So for various platforms, there are various ways where you need to channel or write the content. Then, unlike the traditional writing, social media content must be concise, it must be strategic, and it must be adaptable to different platforms, right? So even while you're making your content platform specific, it doesn't have to be that, okay, it's also going to be the same thing. Like the message you're trying to pass on Instagram can also be the same message you're trying to pass on LinkedIn, on X, but maybe in a different way. But the action or the core concept of the message remains the same. It's just that you're using a various means that's various means that are specific to the platform to pass that message across. So that's what this is about. Now, why is it important? Sorry, excuse me. Okay. Now, why is social media content writing important? It's important because it builds brand awareness, right? Um, for you to create a social media page for your brand, or you as an individual, you can create a personal brand for yourself, right? And people create social media accounts. So it's like, oh, I'm starting a business, so, and I'm already thinking of how I'm going to create social media pages, right? So that people can find me online, so that they can know what I'm selling. So I mean, today people stay in their houses and get stuff, they order stuff online because businesses have social media presence. And I mean, even if you're trying to get, if someone recommends a brand, you're saying, oh, I want to get like a bag or something, and then you're asking someone for recommendations, and the person's like, oh, I know somebody, the person sells online, and like, okay, can I check them out? Can I see what's their IG handle? And the person who's recommending tells you, oh, they don't have any online presence, it's just on WhatsApp. And then even on the WhatsApp, it's not a business page, it's just an individual page, and they're just sending you pictures. So it's somehow, because sometimes you want to see like what's the track record of the business, have they been supplying to other customers, with several things that are happening online these days. You want to know that a business that you're patronizing or a brand has like credibility and all that. So this is why some people invest in, I mean, Ogochukwu, a social media manager. This is why people invest in social media management and managers, because they want to be able to build that brand awareness. You want people to know more about their brand on social media. Another thing is that um, why it's important to have great social media content is that it increases engagement and conversions, right? If people are seeing your content, if they're engaging with it, if they like it, most times it would usually turn into conversions, right? Even, I mean, if you're having like good engagement, people are commenting, people are liking, and all that, the more people share, the more people see your content, and the more tendency for you to be able to have like someone who will actually be interested in purchasing something for you. Another reason is that it helps businesses connect with their audience in real time. Now, with the whole digital marketing thing, digital age, I mean, it becomes difficult for people if you're not like meeting someone face to face. How do you now want to connect with them, right? If you're selling stuff online. But then that's where social media comes into play, and that's where your content is able to um serve that purpose, right? Helping you to connect with your various audience in real time, because they see your content, they see like what you post, they see how you maybe do your day-to-day operations and all that, and people have that faith in you that it's a credible business, and they feel more connected to you, because most times people they buy because of trust, not just because of your how fine you are or how beautiful your products are. But if people can trust you, I mean, money is hard to come by these days. So nobody would want to just throw their money away or go buy something from someone who they feel like might scam them or something like that. And it's your social media content that would help to build that trust with your audience or with people. So this is why your social media content has to be really great, and this is why it's important. Now, here's a quick prompt I want you to think about. Has there ever been a time when a social media post made you stop scrolling, and what was it about that post that grabbed your attention? Yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Ogochukwu, Dom, has there ever been a time? Can you remember anyone and share with us right now? Any post at all that has made you like it was captivating enough for you to like pause and read it, maybe because of the graphics or because of the caption or anything at all? Anyone? Ogochukwu, Dom, do you want to share?
Okay, yes, there has been
Mhm.
on Instagram actually.
What was the post about? Can you like share more light on?
Okay, it was about her. It was a series about her life in the 20s, like her experience when she was 20, like during her 20s. Her experience during her 20s. So what attracted me most to her post was the graphics, the editing, and also how the words too. Like she made it engaging and entertaining.
Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Let me also, Dom, do you have anyone you'd like to share?
Yes, I think I have one to share.
Okay.
So recently, I came across one on. I was just scrolling on Facebook, I think so. So yeah, my desire to, people are making money online here and there. They give, they tell their stories, how they started, how some years ago they were broke, they never, or they did businesses and they never really made any money, and they come across one and then now it worked for them and they are making money. So I came across one recently, and it was like, in just days you could make something like this. What if you could make certain amount of money within a specified or within specified days? So, and I was like, I had to pause at that moment too, because it kind of caught my attention, because I want to be making money online. So that one caught my attention. So I had to pause and then take a closer look at it. So and I almost signed up. I actually almost signed up for that program, because but I had to like say, let me do further, let me ask for further this thing first, investigate further to know, get a clear understanding of how it works before I sign up. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So we can see that, there are various other examples of how social media posts can be engaging, can make you stop scrolling. Maybe it's their graphics, maybe it's the content, maybe it's something, right? So let me share mine. Uh, Let me share mine. I came upon this. This was an example as well that I shared in the last week. It was a content that I came upon, and it was just interesting because I was scrolling, seeing very, very engaging graphics and all of that, and all of a sudden blank I'm seeing a very blank what's it called now? A very blank design with a very bold caption in the middle. Oh, don't do this, right? And our coconut head will not allow us to obey something. It will be like, oh, when they say don't do something, that's the moment you're like, why is this person telling me not to do that thing? And then you want to look. And it was just an interesting um it was just an interesting engagement strategy, right? So you can click on the link and look at it and you get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. So these are just to say that there are various ways that um, you know social media content can be engaging and can be a scroll stopper, right? It can make you pause and actually reflect on the content, and in that time it can now make you carry out an action, the intended action of that post. So next slide. Now let's look at what does it mean to understand, yeah, understanding different social media platforms and their content styles. Now I've been talking about, oh, different social media platforms have different content styles, right? Now what does that mean? Um, so each platform has a unique audience. It has a unique tone and a unique content style. For example, so somewhere like Instagram, right, or or TikTok, you can say that, oh, it's a platform that is mainly Gen Zs that we there, right? We will not see so much of our, oldies and millennials, all that, because of how the platform is. People like to share videos about themselves and all that, right? For a platform um like LinkedIn now, it's for professionals, right? If you don't have like your aspire to aspire talk, if you don't have your oh, I'm excited to announce, and all those kind of things they put on LinkedIn, right? It's not for you, obviously. So there are various, and then for X or Twitter, it's like, oh, for banter and stuff like that. So there are various platforms with their unique audience, unique people that are there, the tone, how the profit, like for example, you can go and speak like all those plenty professional jargon on LinkedIn and it will seem okay. But if you go and use those kinds of words on your maybe Instagram caption or your TikTok caption, it might seem a bit off, because it's like, okay, why are you, what is going on here, that kind of thing. So you need to be able to channel your keeping in mind the unique audience, the tone of your content, like whether it's engaging, whether it's friendly, whether it's conversational, various tone, and then the style of the content. It needs to be tailored to the different platform that you're putting out content for. So like it says there, writing for LinkedIn is different from writing for Instagram or for Twitter or X. So next slide. Now, here's a breakdown of major platforms and best practices. Now, you can see here that we have Facebook, right? Various platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. These are various social media platforms. Now, you can see what kind of audience are there. So, for on Facebook, you can see get like a general audience there. You can have like a broad demographic of people. On Instagram is like a visual first. What that means is that people see before they even read. So it's like you're scrolling on Instagram, you're seeing the graphics first. You're seeing like the pictures or the videos or the reels before you're even going further to look at the captions. So it's visual first, and it's a younger audience. So young people, Gen Zs, teenagers, young people in general are people who are on Instagram. Then for somewhere like Twitter or X, is fast paced. Everybody is always putting out stuff, tweeting, giving their hot takes and things like that. And there's real time discussions. You can see that someone put out a tweet, and in the next couple of minutes or hours, it's already blowing up with various comments and everything. Right. So that's how fast paced Twitter or X is. Another platform is LinkedIn. Like I've said consistently, LinkedIn is for professionals, it's for industry experts, thought leaders, and various other things. Then we have TikTok. TikTok is for, of course, Gen Zs, Gen Z millennials, Gen Zs, and a few millennials. All right, because of the nature of the platform. Another thing is YouTube. The kind of people you see there are people who are putting out educational content, people who are putting entertainment, right? So both the people who are putting out the content and the people who are consuming the content. So educationalists and people in the entertainment industry are people who you would see, active on YouTube. Then when you talk about like the content type, for Facebook, it's like conversational, right? Because it's a general audience, so it's a bit of a conversational flow. So like you're having a discussion with another friend or a group of people. And then it's community based, like community based posts and stories. So, people are always sharing their stories, family stories, business stories, and things like that on Facebook. And of course, the tone is usually friendly because it's conversational, it is friendly, it is engaging, sometimes emotional. Then when you look at a platform like Instagram, um, Instagram would usually go with short captions because it is visual first. Um, it is visual first. So I think your once you have like a killer graphics or video, then your caption is just there as an accompaniment to emphasize what is there on the graphics. So short captions, reels, carousel posts, that's a post where you can scroll, like upload like 10 pictures or thereabouts. And the tone or the writing style is usually fun, casual, inspiring, right? Another thing is the Twitter or X. So, of course, because there's a character limit of about 280 characters, it's usually short and punchy. That's catchy. Very short things that you would say, and the tone is usually witty. It's usually direct because you have just about 280 characters, so you want to ensure that your content is not fluffy at all. You're hitting the nail on the head right there. And it's also about trending topics, right? Things that are happening online and all that. Then when you look at LinkedIn, LinkedIn is long form. Usually you see a lot of people writing like an several paragraphs of words in their content, right, or in their captions. So long form insights, people are sharing what they think, hiring strategies, and what you should do in an interview, what you should not do, how you should comport yourself if you've been laid off, if you, how to handle rejections, things like that. I'm excited to announce this is what I'm doing in my new role, and all that and all that. So long form insights, career growth tips, things like that. The tone is usually professional, usually authoritative. Authoritative in a sense that, okay, I am trying to show that I am a leader in this subject. I'm trying to show that, oh, I have expertise here, so I can talk about this concept well enough for people to understand. So it's usually positioning the writer as a person of authority, as a person of expertise, right? And then we have storytelling. It's usually like people are telling a story about their career, about their growth, about how they handled a particular situation at work, about how they did this or did that or did not do, and all that. It's because it's long form, people are able to tell their stories better. Then we have TikTok. TikTok is short form, video content. Even but now I think they're even extending their. When it started, it was a lot shorter, but now there are more capabilities, more features that have been added to the platform, and I think you can even create like a bit, lengthier videos or so. Like the video duration is increasing as time goes on. So, but basically, short form video content, and it's the tone and the writing style. It's usually around trends, what is trendy, what is happening. It's usually humorous, right? Funny, witty. It's also relatable, because that's what is peculiar to that platform. Then when you look at YouTube, YouTube would range between long form to short form videos. Initially it was just long form videos, but as the platform grew, as time went on, they also introduced the short form videos, which we call the YouTube Shorts, right? So you can upload long form videos of what's 10 minutes to hours, so videos spanning hours. So it just depends on what you kind of information you're trying to pass across. And the tone could be informative, of course, it could be engaging, and it could also be structured. So this is just a small breakdown of what these major social media there are several other social media platforms, like um somewhere like Quora can also be termed as a social media platform. Reddit can also be termed as a social media platform, but it's not as popular as maybe you would say Facebook or Instagram or X, right? So this is the breakdown of like major platforms and the best practices to creating content on these platforms. So now we're going to look at the art of writing engaging social media content. Now we've been talking about social media content, what it is, why it's important, peculiarities of various platforms. Now let us look at what does it actually mean to write this content. Okay, now when you're writing a post that would captivate or convert people, right? Converting in the sense that, oh, you're taking like getting people to purchase your product or service. How do you write a post that will do that? First thing you need to consider is the hook, right? The first line matters. Just like on Instagram, where I've said that it is visual first, your graphics or your what's it called, or your video is like 70 or 80% to ensuring that it's converts, making your post convert. Because if someone is scrolling, like, you have to see something catchy enough, like you see before you actually take your time to start reading something. So you also have to see something that is catchy enough. Maybe it's the color combination, or just like the first thing that pops up on your screen, or anything around that would make you to want to stop and take a deeper dive into what that content is about, or graphics or posts. So there has to be a hook, and that hook has to be in the first line. Now, the first line determines if people would stop scrolling or keep scrolling. Now, since we're talking about social media content writing specifically, now we're talking about the content, right? The written content specifically. The first line of that content is something that will determine if people would stop scrolling or they'll keep scrolling. Because if I read maybe the first line of a paragraph, right, and then I manage to read the second and third line, if I don't see how, if it doesn't relate to me, if I don't find it engaging, I'm moving on, right? And people do not have, they don't have that much time to waste on your content. There is a lot of things to consume, so you have to attract people with that first line. So, and I gave two examples here. Now, the example is, oh, if you're struggling with low engagement, you're making this one mistake. Now, this is a very captivating line, because if I'm a business owner, or I'm someone who is like deeply invested in building my personal brand, and I am actually struggling with low engagement, maybe I'm investing time creating content, recording videos, doing a day in my life, and various other things like that, but then I'm getting 1 like, 2 likes, 5 likes, right? Nobody is commenting, or one comment, or things like that. And so it's been bothering you. Oh, how do I improve my engagement? How do I ensure that people actually connect to my posts? So it's like that has been on your mind. So you're scrolling through social media, and then you see this a caption like this. If you're struggling with low engagement, you're making this one mistake. Obviously, as someone who has been struggling in their business, in their building their personal brand and all, and then you're seeing someone telling you you're making this one mistake, you want to be curious. Oh, what is that mistake I'm making? What am I not doing right? Because, oh, you feel like, oh, I've done everything right. I'm doing content, I'm posting back to back, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but it's not working. So you're like, okay, what is that one mistake? So you've already caught that person, right? Or those people under this bucket with this hook, right? You've already hooked them. They are hooked. They want to know more. And then that's now when you now go on to elaborate, talk about various things, and then you have a call to action. We're going to talk about that later. For the second example, it says, ever wondered why some posts go viral and why others flop? Let's break it down. Now, this is also another really great hook, because, I mean, as people who are like if you're on social media, right, it's because you have like your own social media account, whether it's for your business or for your own private account. And then you might have wondered at some point, oh, why is it that these people, maybe while looking at your competitors, you've seen that, oh, their posts are always going viral, it's always having great engagement, but your own doesn't, and it's something that has crossed your mind. Then one day you actually just come across a post like this that says, ever wonder why some posts go viral and others flop? Let's break it down. You're like, okay, you need to read this. You want to know, oh, perhaps why your content is not your own page not getting viral, your content, or you're not getting enough engagement and things like that. So these are examples of, there are various other ways you can write a statement or a sentence to make it attractive, to make it catchy, and make it serve as a hook for your audience. So these are just some examples that I wanted to share with you. Now, for the next thing we're going to be looking at, or the next point on how to write a post that captivates and converts. Number 2, we have keep it concise and clear. Now, like I've been saying, people scroll fast. They don't just scroll, but they scroll fast on social media because there's a lot. For me, that, for example, I've noticed that most times when I get on Instagram, I'm always seeing like things that I like, things that I enjoy, because the algorithm is always recommend such things. So I find myself spending a lot of time, more time than I intended to. So and because of that, I don't I try as much as possible to limit the time that I spend on Instagram. For example, maybe I'd only open Instagram like once in a few days, and when I go on that Instagram once in maybe 2 or 3 days, I want to ensure that I exhaust like the most recent post on my feeds. So I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling fast. So people scroll fast. That's just what I'm trying to emphasize. So you need to ensure that your post is catchy enough, it is captivating enough, it is concise, right? It is clear. Your sentences are clear. You're not, like I said, writing things that will give somebody headache. You're not writing things that are filled with typographical error, or things that someone will have to think twice before you understand the message you're trying to pass. So no, it should be concise and clear. Another point to keep in mind is that you should also leverage storytelling to connect emotionally, because we are humans and humans are social beings. So instead of saying something like, oh, use our new fitness app, go and use it now, right? So you want to say something that would appeal to the person's conscience, something that would connect to them, something that would relate to them. So if I'm saying, oh, use our new fitness app, I'm thinking, why are you trying to command me? Right? Or is it by force? Or like, no, I will not use it. So you need to say something that would, even in as much as maybe I actually need a fitness app because I feel like maybe I sit in front of my computer all day, I'm not fit, and I need to like get active, or maybe I'm on the plus size, and I know that I need to actually lose some weight. But then because it's just, oh, use our new fitness app, I'm thinking, oh, why should I use it? I beg you, I'm scrolling, right? But if I read something like, oh, last year I couldn't even run for 5 minutes, now thanks to this app I completed my first marathon. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh wow, I've always wanted to run a marathon. Or even if I've never wanted to run a marathon, just like, wow, this is interesting. Someone that could not run for 5 minutes, but now can run a marathon of maybe several kilometers. So it's like, okay, wow, this fitness app might be powerful. Maybe I can even see other things, other features that are catered to my own interest, like working out and stuff like that. So, okay, let me check it out. And then I'm going to download the app, right? Or I'm going to check the link in their bio. So you want to use like a sentence that would appeal to people's conscience, that they would find relatable and all that. Of course, like Dom said, when I asked you about a post that have captivated you, you said that you saw one that was talking about money making strategies, right? And everybody wants to make money, but the way they were able to maybe put out their own post is what captivated you. You're like, okay, this thing looks interesting. Let me do like a further research on them before I actually signed up. But again, it already piques your interest, right? It already made you curious as to, oh, what's this thing about, right? It already made you to feel like you want to know more about it. So that's what a good social media content should look like. Another thing to also keep in mind is that you need to be able to leverage hashtags and keywords for proper visibility, right? Hashtags like, you know, of course, some people might argue that hashtags may not necessarily work, but sometimes it does work, right? Especially for a platform like, let's say, Twitter or X, where people go on to search like trending topics and trending words and stuff like that. But you have to also use like niche specific hashtags, niche specific branded hashtags, not just random things that you come up. So if you're posting about, let's say, a fashion brand, you can't go and start talking about using a hashtag like technology when you're talking about fashion, or you're talking about a skincare brand and you're talking of cooking using hashtag cooking jollof rice. Your hashtag should be tailored to that industry or that post that you are writing about. Then number 5, it says end with a clear CTA. CTA means call to action, right? When you're remember, you're starting with a hook. So you just like last week when I talked about blog writing, I talked about how you start with, you have an engaging topic, you have like a catchy introduction, you have your body, and you have the concluding part. Now, in all these various segments, it's like you're telling a story. It's like the first part leads to the second, and the second leads to the third, and the third leads to the fourth, and like that, and so on and so forth. So if there's no coherence with the entire work, the entire content, the reader is going to be left stranded. They're going to get confused. They may not really connect to the message that you're trying to pass across. Now, you want to ensure that you're using, while you're starting with a hook that will get the person interested, you shouldn't leave your content hissing that, oh, I wasted my time. Oh, can you imagine? This is not even what I imagined. You're leaving your content angrier than they saw it, because they felt like, oh, they didn't get value for their time. They stopped scrolling for for nonsense. So you want to ensure that while you're starting with a hook, your body is just as good. The body of the content, your storytelling technique is good, and then you're ending with a clear call to action. And if a good example of a clear call to action would be, oh, somebody is putting out like an educative content, and they're like, oh, double tap if you agree. That's like the comment. Or they'll say, tag a friend who needs to see this, right? In that way, it's like they're trying to get more engagement for their content or for the post. Because if you go to the comment section, you tag a friend, your friend comes and see it, and they tag their own friend or the comment. That way, it's reaching a broader audience. Or you just share to that friend, it's also reaching a broader audience. Or another clear call to action could be something like, oh, click the link in our bio to learn more. Right now, they want you to take an action. They want you to go and click the link in their bio to maybe see their website, or to buy a product, or to see their catalog, or something of that nature. But it's ending with an action, and not just an action, but one that is clear. So these are, remember, we're talking about like how to write a post that captivates and converts. Now, these are the various elements, various things that you should keep in mind. Now, when it comes, you now have like your various excuse me, let me take some water. So now you have your various elements of ways that you can put together a great social media content. Now it's now time for you to like create a calendar or a social media content calendar. So let me throw this question at you, Ogochukwu. In your work, in your role as a social media manager, have you been creating content calendars? And if yes, how do you go about it? What's your process like?
Okay, yes, I have. So firstly, I start with the message I want to pass through, whether for the week, if it's for engagement or if it's for awareness. Firstly, then I direct my content towards that. Then how many times I'll post during the week, on what platforms. Then I create the write up for the contents before doing the graphics or videos, then scheduling them.
Okay, amazing. So that is, I mean, in a nutshell, that is what creating a content calendar involves, right? And you basically need to have a plan, because you shouldn't just wake up in the morning and you're thinking, oh, what am I going to post to? I don't have anything in mind. No, that's why you should have a plan. So, like, you're building out a plan for the week, or you're building out a plan for the month. But essentially, you should have a plan that will inform you on, how you're going to be um you're going to be posting, right? Putting out your content in line with the brand. And this is just a simple template that someone can work with, where you have like the various days of the week, you have the specific dates, and you have the content type. Just like you have said, like awareness, educational content, engaging content, and things like that. Then you have the topic, right? What exactly are you um, talking about? So under awareness, what is the focus? It may not necessarily be a topic. It could be like, what's the focus of that content? For example, as an educational content, you might want to be talking about, oh, why is social media a game changer? Or as an engaging content, you might want to do a poll or a Q&A on a particular subject. As a maybe user generated content, you want to do like, you want to feature a customer story. So these are various topics or focus of the content that you could use. um Sorry, why did this thing go back? Give me a second. Okay, my system is lagging. Okay, good. So now, so these are various ways that you can schedule like your content in various, using like various formats, and then you add your caption so that you're not stuck as to what to post. So you already create this calendar or like do this map for the week. Maybe you can do it over the weekend or on the first day of the week. You create this entire plan so that for the rest of the week, you know that you are settled and you're set for your content. Then, of course, you also map out the platforms where these various contents will go to. Is it Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, or all of the platforms, right? Of course, remember that the various content needs to be channeled to the various platforms. Then, excuse me, what time are you looking to post? Another thing you should be able to build is like consistency in your platform. It's not like you're posting today at midnight, tomorrow you're posting at 6 a.m. Another time you're posting in the afternoon. I mean, you can be random at times with your post, but sometimes it just makes sense to build some sort of consistency around it. And then if it's like for an organization where you're not the only one working, or like the manager, then you have people who work under you to make this post. You can now schedule it across or assign it, for example, right, where you have like responsible, like who would who would handle this, who will post it, and then you post the various people's names there. So this is what it means to have like a social media content calendar that aligns with these various elements of social media content that we've spoken about all along. Let me see, what else do we have? Okay, so before I go to the next slide, I want to throw this question at you both. Dom, you would go first. Have you ever have you been creating social media content, whether for a brand or even just for your own personal social media? So if yes, are there any tools, specific tools that you use for your content writing or social media efforts, social media content writing or digital marketing? Let me take the question again. Have you been creating content for a brand, social media content for a brand, or for your own, personal social media? If the answer is yes, now what are some of the tools that you've been working with? Tools that you've been working with to write your content, to do your digital marketing and things like that. So yeah, Dom, you'd go first, and then Ogochukwu would go next.
Okay, thank you. Um, I haven't really been in that role before, but recently at my at my place of internship, I
Mm-hmm.
worked very closely in my role as the product manager intern. I worked very closely with the content team. So we were we were always using when we want to brainstorm on content creation and maybe coming up with a calendar or a plan, we used Miro. Then another one we used very well often was Canva. We also used Canva also. So I think that's the tool that comes to mind readily now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. So are you proficient in these platforms as well? Like, are you good at using Miro and Canva?
Yeah, Canva to some extent, but Miro is like I'm still at the beginner level though.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. So how about you, Ochufu?
Okay, for me, I use ChatGPT to assist me when I'm brainstorming. Then
Mm-hmm.
I use Google Docs to write my content down, like to plan it down. Then for the graphics, I use Canva for graphics, and then CapCut for video editing. CapCut and Canva for video editing. Those are the ones I make most use of.
Okay, amazing. So that means that you are very proficient. You are a professional prompt engineer. You're really good at designs. Your designs and your videos are fire. All those. What would you grade your expertise level across these various platforms?
Well, for Canva and CapCut, I would say intermediate. But for the ChatGPT, yes, I actually took prompting classes.
Okay, great. So, yeah, because the next thing I was going to talk about is like the tools for digital marketing and content writing. And I'm really glad that, at least we do have some level of experience these um in these various platforms, because if you look at for tools for content writing, of course we have things like Google Docs, which is for drafting, formatting, and you know and collaboration. So it's like, so one thing as creators, as writers, is that you can get ideas from anywhere. It's like, oh, you sometimes you wake up from sleep and then you get this idea about how you should structure a particular caption, or sometimes you're walking on the street or you're going somewhere, you see a particular thing or you hear something, right? And you get an idea, and you just need to put it down. So you can definitely use Google Docs for that. You can have like an idea docs, or you can have maybe a simple notepad on your phone that you would use for that, for drafting, for formatting, for collaboration. Now Google Docs is also important because you can also use that to like create your calendar, like you do like a, what's it called, a table, and then like rather than designing it like, like I did here. I mean, this is a template from Canva, but it's something that can also be replicated on Google Docs. And if you're someone who is working in a team, right, you have other people who you're working with, you're collaborating with, it just makes sense that you work with a platform, like maybe, or you have like a manager or someone you report to, and then they're like, oh, build out our content calendar for the week, and then you go and you develop it, and then you want to get feedback on your work. So it's important, or it makes sense that you use a platform like Google Docs, where you can share the link with maybe the person who has assigned you the task. They can make comments, they can see it in real time. Like, that's what it means to collaborate, right? So that's why Google Docs is, really important. Another thing is Grammarly. Again, like, people have been emphasizing on how you should not write things that will stress people, right? You should write things that are clear, that are concise. And sometimes our eyes or our brains play tricks on us, right? Sometimes you might be so tired, or you might even be with a clear head, but somehow it's like you missed a typo, or you're typing something and autocorrect does you dirty. So you need to have that extra level of check to your work. Remember, I said that, okay, when I was talking about the essential skills of a content writer, one of them is proofreading and editing. So you need to be able to have like a second glance at your work. Your work should always, always, always be free from errors, right? As a content writer, as a social media content writer, it's not acceptable to have, yes, we can make mistakes, but you should do all that is within your power to ensure that you do not make those mistakes. So Grammarly is one tool that I would recommend. If it's not something you use, or if it's something you've never heard of, I want you to go and check it out. It's very easy to use, although they have like the free and the premium version, just the way Canva is, right? So um there are certain functionalities that are peculiar to someone on the free version and someone on the basic. Let me just ask: have you heard of Grammarly or Hemingway Editor? Ogochukudom, are these familiar to you? These tools. Have you heard of it? Have you used
I've
it?
heard of grammar. I've used grammar, but I've not really heard of Hemingway editor.
Okay. How about you, Dom? Dom, are you there? Okay. So moving on. Yeah, so Hemingway Editor is also very similar to Grammarly. And these are, Grammarly is very versatile, because Grammarly, you can use it on your phone, even while like doing your day-to-day texting. It has a keyboard, just the way there is Google keyboard. It has like an interface in itself. Oh, let me see if I can even open it up right now and share. It has like an interface in itself that you can, you know, share this tab. Yeah. So you can impute, like, you're trying to form a content, a social media content, and then you type it out. You can just do copy and paste it here for an extra check. You can also integrate it on Google Docs. So if you sign up, you can integrate it as an add-on on Google Doc. Even on your web browser, you can also integrate it as an extension. So there are various ways you can use Grammarly. I've not used Hemingway extensively the way I've used Grammarly, because I prefer Grammarly, but Hemingway is also similar as well, and also like really great. This I stopped sharing. Let me see how I can reshare. Hmm. Okay, this is the Hemingway app, and yeah, I'm using the um I'm using the browser version. It also has an app that you can download, and it can help you to, you can see here, it gives you the word count. You see like sentences that are hard to read, that you can refine, and just various things around grammar that it can help you. You also have like, I mean, these are on the plus or premium version, but you can rewrite it and fix your grammar. But there are also like various things that you can do with the free version, and it is these are tools that I'll 100% recommend that you try to leverage in your content writing journey. Now back to our slide. Dom, your mic is muted. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I noticed there was a little network glitch. So, but it seems you mentioned my name some. Yeah.
Oh yes. I was just wondering. I wanted to know if Grammarly and Hemingway editor is something that you are familiar with.
Okay. What's the other one you mentioned? I'm familiar with Grammarly, very, very familiar with that. I've used it for some time. The other one you mentioned, I didn't get that right.
Hemi-
What?
Hemingway editor.
Okay, okay. I'm not familiar with that one.
Okay, so they are both editing tools. They can help you to, um, make your writing clearer. They can help you to spot mistakes, to spot sentences that need to be refined, the spot typographical error and things like that. And these are tools that there are several other of them, but these are some very prominent ones that I'm recommending that you look into, and they are easy to use. It's not something that you need to take a course for. Yeah, so yeah, that's
So,
what I'm
so
saying.
does that one have a? Does it have a free version like Grammarly?
Oh yes, it has a free version. You also have like other premium features that you can subscribe to on the paid version as well, the plus.
Okay. Thank you.
So still on the so for tools for social media content scheduling, of course, like you all have mentioned, Canva for designing social media graphics, presentations for doing your blog headers and visuals, and Canva is a very versatile tool, and it is really good. I also use Canva very well. In fact, Canva I use to design the slides. So you can see that Canva is something that you cannot, that every um every person in the who creates content is something that you would almost always use. So Canva is really good with fast features. You don't need to have like a proficiency or certificate in Adobe Photoshop or Corel Draw to be able to use Canva. It is an easy tool that you can get acquainted with easily. Um, Another thing is Trello or Notion. Like Dom mentioned, there's the Miro board he uses in his team. So other than a Miro board, you can also use like something like Trello for scheduling posts, for outlining various buckets of posts. Is something you can also use for. It's also a planning tool, right? It's a project management tool. So you can use it to manage your posts as well as Notion. Um, I believe Notion is something we've heard about. Notion is also another free tool where you can use to design schedule posts that's not necessarily schedule, but like plan. You can use it to plan out your content calendar. You can use it to there are also various templates on Notion that you can let me see if I can do a quick search right now. Notion. is a productivity software basically, and it helps you to work better and faster, and it is really great, and it can also improve your social media efforts. You can It has the browser version. You also have, like, the app that you can download, either I think on your desktop, right? It also works that way, and it's really great. Another thing we have here is the Meta Business Suite. Um, yeah, so we have, when you want to schedule posts across like multiple platforms, also Hootsuite. It's something that you can use as well. Another tool is the Buffer. Buffer is also a scheduling platform. Now, why are scheduling tools important? They're important because so let's say, actually, in today's digital age where like people work remotely, where you see that people are they have multiple jobs basically, and you're like, okay, you've created your calendar for the week, and you just want to make things easier for yourself. Maybe a post that's supposed to go out at 8 a.m., and you know that maybe, oh, you may not be up by 8 a.m. You can schedule it the previous day, or for it to go out the next day at exactly 8 a.m. And a tool like the Meta Business Suite or Buffer can help you do that. Once you connect your accounts to these platforms, you'll be able to schedule, and your post to go out automatically, so you don't always have to be hands-on making those live posts. So this is just, we've gone in depth into, let me go back to our objective. So when I talk about what we're going to gain out of today, right? I said we'll look at, understanding the fundamentals of social media content writing, knowing how to tailor content for various platforms, learning how to craft engaging, converting posts, and just exploring storytelling techniques, call to action strategies, and a content plan or a content calendar for a brand. These are some of the things I hope to cover today. And before I proceed, or before we call it a day, I'm just going to stop here and take any questions. Yeah, because I think we've been here for almost an hour or more. So let me know if you have any questions around what we've discussed today, or any question at all around digital marketing, content writing, and we can crash those out right now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I thank you so much for this session. It's really been insightful, and given the fact that
Dom, I can't hear you anymore. Hello, are you there? I think it should be network. I can't hear you if you're still speaking. Hi, Ogochukwu, do you have any questions or anything you want to share, addition, contribution, question, or anything at all?
Yes, I do. I have a question. So
Mm-hmm.
after um posting your content on social media, like I wonder what's next, like after bringing out the content online, like what should you do next?
Okay, so after posting your content, of course, you have to follow up, right? You don't just post the content and forget it. Remember, I've been emphasizing on how important it is to have like great engagement, how important it is to have like a content that is relatable and that your followers or the audience in general can connect to. So after posting, you should definitely go on to check the insights, right? Maybe after a few hours, or since your post notifications are on, if someone comments, you should of course, try to engage them as, um, immediately, right? If not immediately, then as soon as you maybe see the comments, you try to reply as well, because once, I think, a part of the algorithm, social media algorithm, they see that people are engaging on a platform, it becomes visible to more people. So you're engaging with people who are commenting, you are resharing if possible. You can share to, if it's like a personal content, right? You can share to your friends, so that they can engage, they can like, they can comment. If it's a brand post, you have to be looking out for comments and questions and things like that. And of course, you also want to check the insights of the post. Once you're an administrator on a page, you should be able to see the insights of the page and as well the insights of the post. How many people did it reach? What's like the demography of people? Where are the people coming from? Right, somewhere like LinkedIn, you see, the kind of places they worked, or if it's experienced people within a certain um, you know, work level, experience level, and things like that. Um, you know, what you can also compare posts, right? The if let's say you have a calendar that you're working with for the month, and you're doing like, every Monday you're posting out motivational posts or quotes and things like that. You want to see how this Monday's post compares to like last week Monday, or things like that. You want to compare trends, you want to use your insights, you want to leverage the data you're getting from your post to inform your future posts. Because again, on social media, you have to look at what are you doing, and what can you do better, how can you improve on your strategies to ensure that your content becomes better, or your post become better. uh, is there a kind of post in the past that your audience really liked, that people really engaged in? Can you replicate something like that, or in a different way, to like see how it will also drag some more engagement for you? So these are the kind of things that you want to do after a post goes up. You have to analyze, you have to make informed decisions with the insights, and you have to engage. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other one, or is that all?
I don't have any other question.
Okay. All right. So Dom, you were saying something before we lost you.
Yes, I was trying to say that most times I begin to wonder how, because consistency, as you rightly mentioned, yeah, requires that one shows up every day or every week, depending on how you planned your calendar. So, but now, how do you how do you manage that, given the fact that not every day that you have every that will always have something to say or to write about or to post. So, like a brand or an individual who is desirous of staying consistent, showing up every day, how do you do in order not to run out of content ideas?
Okay, that's a great question. Now, I would say that content ideas are infinite, right? In today's digital age, almost everything and anything is content. It just depends on what your brand, either as a business or as an individual, is focused on, and what like your what you stand for, like your vision and mission is aligned to. Anything basically can literally pass off as content. It just depends on how you structure it. Now, how do you not run out of ideas? So this is what you should ideally do. So if this is already March, this is the 8th day of March, right? If you're looking to start building a brand, maybe taking your business to the next level using social media, or taking your personal brand to the next level. Now, it's not just something you wake up right? You wake up today and you have this aha moment, and then you want to start by Monday. It's something that you have to actually sit down and plan and like look into. Okay, I want to start, posting on social media, and that is why I talked about a calendar, because a calendar is something that would keep you accountable in a way. It's something that, so that you don't wake up in the morning and you're like, hey God, I have this resolution to want to post, but I don't even know what to post. Where do I start from? So you can, I mean, this is the end of the first quarter. You can set out a goal that, oh, you want to start planning your social media goals for next quarter, for Q2 of 2025, right? And you're starting now, right? So you're using the rest of this month to plan for content that you will be posting by April, right? So you want to start this month in March to start building out your content calendar for April. And your content calendar is not also going to be a set in stone, right? It's something that, okay, maybe from maybe next month, you know how things trend for some of us. For, I mean, I don't know if we're all Nigerians here, but for people, let me just use Nigeria as an example. You see how things trend online to this, maybe this week now. People have started one challenge that they are using. I think there was a time people were doing I can't even remember any challenge now, but I just know that there are sometimes on social media you just start seeing there's a challenge that everyone is jumping on, maybe a specific content format, or a dance challenge, or just something that people do, and it starts trending. And trends like that can actually help you get engagement. So you want to, like, maybe basically tap into the challenge in a way if your business is aligned with it, right? Because it's not all challenges that you jump on. So my point is, even if you start from now, right, to start ideating, start thinking about what kind of content I will post in April. Even when that April comes and maybe there's something trending and a challenge that I feel like you can jump on that will be beneficial to your business, you can also edit your strategy, right? But you're planning ahead just so that you have something, you have like a backlog of content and ideas that you post. And like I said, ideas come in various ways. You can be walking on the street and you see something and get an idea. You can be having a conversation with your friend, with your colleague at work, and you have an idea. So, okay, this is something that I can actually post about, So it's something that you just, so, you since it's, you don't want to stress yourself with social media. You don't want to like put so much pressure on yourself, because if you feel pressured, you might just easily break out of your consistency. So you want to give yourself enough time to plan ahead. So when you plan ahead now, if you use the rest of this month, for example, to start planning for contents that you'll be posting in April. Now, when April comes, if you'll always be thinking of, oh, what would I post on day one? What do I post on day two? You already have that. You now use April to start planning for what you post in May. And just like that, it's like you're always planning ahead. You're one step ahead, so that you're not caught at the point where you don't have something to post. So that's like the best strategy that I can give you that would help you to not run out of ideas and to maintain consistency. Another thing, okay, I just remembered, is for you to also follow similar people. In the business angle, is to follow your competitors. In the personal side, it's still almost the same thing. Now, they are not your competitors, like people maybe you look up to, or people that are doing similar thing. Like you, for example, me, for example, now, if I want to maybe take my social media serious and like, oh, I want to build out a content plan, I want to get ideas, I'll follow other community managers, other digital marketers, other content writers. How are they doing? What kind of content are they putting out? How are they, I'll go through their posts. Not to say that, oh, I want to copy what they are doing, I want to replicate. No, but I want to see what you are doing. I want to get that idea, see how it can inform my own creativity, and I'll use that to build out something that is unique as well for myself and for my brand. So yeah, these are some strategies I can share with you, and I hope it helps.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate.
Okay, thank you so much, Dom, and thank you, Ogochukwu, as well, for staying up till this time. Our time is fast spent, but I do hope that it has been worth your time, right? You have gained something from today's session. And I'm going to leave you with a take-home assignment, right? Something that you should, submit. Hopefully, if you done this is you, hopefully if you join us in our next week session, then maybe I can also take a look at your work. But Ogochukwu, I really encourage you to take this seriously and work on this assignment. So I want you to create like a calendar, right? So I mean, this shouldn't be hard for you since you already have some experience as a social media manager. And even if you don't, use what I've said today, right? I hope you were taking notes. This is what I've said today, to build out a 7-day content calendar, just like we have here. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Put the date, put the content type, the topic, the caption, the platform. So spread it across various platforms. I want to see like captions and topics for various platforms. Don't just use write captions for only Facebook or only Instagram or only X. Spread, just like I did, spread it across. I want to see like your various captions for various platforms, and just like this, like a calendar like this. Now, so write social media post for a brand to build like a 7 days content calendar. So you're building the calendar, you're building out everything. So for a dummy brand, just think of something, maybe that business you have been hoping that you will start, right? Or even if it's just your personal brand, you can use that. It's just an assignment to work on. So build out the calendar and ensure that you're using. I've talked about how it is important for you to start writing your content with a hook, especially for social media content. So hook, story, call to action. So hook is like the introduction, story is like the body, the CTA is like the conclusion, right? You're comparing it to the format of a blog. So using the hook, story, CTA, and then I want you, since we've already established that we are conversant with some of these social media tools like Canva. So you're building out a 7 days calendar. If you can have like accompanying graphics for all of them, but I want to see at least one accompanying graphic. So maybe for Monday, you can create a graphics for Monday. But if you can, don't let this limit you. You can create graphics, accompanying graphics for all the days. But at least I want to see at least one graphics to go with it. And hopefully you can share this before our next class. Our next workshop will be happening between Thursday to Saturday next week. I would also communicate that. So I want to know if this is clear, or you have any question on this small assignment.
Okay. Can I go ahead?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Will this recording be available for one to like go over again?
Yes, I'll try to make the recording available just like I did for the first week. I would also try to upload this as well so that you can rewatch it.
Okay. Thank you. I do have another question, but let me just go ahead first. Let me.
No, I'm done. I just want to know if any of you have there's something you want me to clarify about the assignment. So, but yeah, you can go ahead to ask your question.
Okay. As for the assignment, I don't know. But I will need to. I hope I will have a way of getting back to you. Should I need clarification on anything?
Yeah, you can send me a message on LinkedIn.
Okay. That'll be good.
Awesome. So, Ogochukwu, any clarifications needed or good?
Yes. The hook story city said we should use. So does it mean that
What?
we're going to like the hook story and then the CTA that you gave on the assignment? Does this mean we're going to have like a column for hook, a column for the story, and then a column for the call to action?
No. Just infuse everything into your caption. So just use this hook story CTA as a guide, as an invisible guide, right? But I want to see that in your caption, just like in the blog, right? You're writing introduction, body, and conclusion. I mean, most times when you're writing a blog, you will not start putting introduction as header. Some people do, but you will not put body as header. You will just have like subtopics and then your conclusion and all of that. So I just want this Hook Story City 8 to be like a guide, an invisible guide for you. But no, I don't want to see like hook. Then you write a hook story. No, no, just use that as an invisible guide to craft your caption.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, all good. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying here up until this time. And if you do have any questions, feel free. Don't you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or Gochuku. You know where we interact. So I'd always be happy to throw more light, clarify as much as possible. And I can't wait to like see your report on this, right? So use Google Docs to create this calendar, and you can use a Canva to design the graphics, right? Or whatever platform you're comfortable with, but just ensure that it's something that we can, easily collaborate with. Thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a
Yeah.
good time hanging out with you.